Yeah, well, you see, well, Andre, if you want to know my actual response to all of this, do you want to hear my actual response? I mean, Andre, really, my actual response. I mean, I'm just trying to survive. I mean, I'm trying to earn a living. I'm trying to pay my rent and my bills. I mean, I live my life. I enjoy staying home with Debbie. I'm reading Charlton Heston's autobiography, and that's that. I mean, occasionally maybe Debbie and I will step outside and we'll go to a party or something. And if I can occasionally get my little talent together and write a play, well, then that's wonderful. And I enjoy reading about other little plays that people have written and reading the reviews of those plays and what people said about them and what people said about what people said. And I mean, I have a list of errands and responsibilities that I keep in a notebook. And I enjoy going through my list and carrying out the responsibilities and doing the errands and then crossing them off my list. And I mean, I just don't know how anyone could enjoy anything any more than I enjoy reading Charlton Heston's autobiography and, getting up in the morning and having the cup of cold coffee that's been waiting for me all night, still there for me to drink in the morning. And no cockroach or fly has died in it overnight. I mean, I'm just so thrilled when I get up and I see that coffee there, just the way I want it. I mean, obviously, if there's a dead cockroach in it, then I just have a feeling of disappointment. And I'm sad, but I mean, I don't think I feel the need for anything more than this. Whereas you seem to be saying that it's inconceivable that anyone could be having a meaningful life today and that everyone is totally destroyed and that we all need to go live in these outposts. But I mean, even for you, I mean, don't you find, isn't it pleasant just to get up in the morning and there's Chiquita and there are the children and the Times is delivered? You could read it. Maybe you'll direct a play. Maybe you won't direct a play. Forget about the play that you may or may not direct. Why is it necessary why not lean back and just enjoy these details? I mean, there'd be a delicious cup of coffee and a piece of coffee cake. And I mean, why is it necessary to have more than this or to even think about having more than this? I mean, I don't really know what you're talking about. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I mean, I don't really know what you're talking about. And I mean, even if I did feel the way that you do, that there is no possibility for happiness now, then frankly, I still couldn't believe that the way to make life wonderful would be to totally reject Western civilization and to fall back into some kind of weird belief in some kind of weird something. I mean, I don't even know how to begin talking about this. I mean, in the Middle Ages, before the arrival of scientific thinking as we know it today, well, people could believe anything. Anything could be true. A statue of the Virgin Mary could speak or bleed or whatever. But the wonderful thing that happened was that then, in the development of science in the Western world, certain things did come slowly to be known and understood. I mean, all ideas in science are constantly being revised. I mean, that's the whole point. But we do at least know that the universe has some shape and order, and, trees do not become people or goddesses, and there are very good reasons why they don't. And you can't just believe absolutely anything. I mean, the things that you're talking about, I mean, either the stones have the weight to hold down the roof or they don't. And when you talk about things like that flag or the handprints, I mean, you seem constantly to be finding a significance in these things, which to me are just facts. I mean, you found the handprints in the book, and there were 3 Andres and 1 Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. And to me, that is a coincidence. But to you, it was significant, as if that book was written 40 years ago so that you would see it, as if it was planned for you in a way. I mean, really. I mean, Andre. I mean, let's say I get a fortune cookie in a Chinese restaurant. I mean, even I have a tendency, I mean, I would hardly throw it out. I mean, I read it. I read it, and I just instinctively sort of, if it says something like, a conversation with a dark-haired man will be very important for you, I just sort of instinctively think, well, who do I know who has dark hair? And did we have a conversation? And what did we talk about? I mean, I read it. In other words, I mean, I do tend to read it, but it's a joke in my mind. I mean, I read it, and I instinctively interpret it as if it were an omen of the future. But in my conscious opinion, which is so fundamental to my whole view of life, I mean, I would have to change totally to not have this opinion in my conscious opinion. This is simply something that was written in the cookie factory several years ago and in no way refers to me. The man who wrote it did not know anything about me, couldn't have known anything about me. There's no way that this cookie could actually have anything to do with me. The fact that I've gotten it is basically a joke. And I mean, if I were planning to go on a trip and I got a fortune cookie, if I were planning to go on a trip on an airplane and I got a fortune cookie and it said, don't go, I mean, I admit, I would be nervous for about 1 second. But in fact, I would go because, I mean, that trip is going to be successful or unsuccessful based on the state of the airplane and the state of the pilot. And the cookie is in no position to know about that. And it's the same if you believe in any kind of prophecy or sign or omen, because if you believe in omens, then that means that the universe, I can hardly begin to describe this, that somehow the future can send messages backward to the present, which means that the future exists in some sense already in order to send these messages. And it also means that things in the universe are there for a purpose, to send us messages, whereas I believe that things in the universe are just there. They don't have any meaning. If the turtle's egg falls out of the tree and splashes on the paving stones, it's just because that turtle was clumsy by accident. And to send my ships off to war on the basis of that seems a big mistake to me.